Hello aspirants, welcome to Kalam IAS. My name is Rohit Gochar and we are going to do trend analysis of UPSC Mains 2024 GS1 Geography section, the most interesting and most scoring section. But this year it was quite tricky. Okay, so let's start. This is the subcategorization of UPSC Mains syllabus, where we have salient features of world physical geography, important geophysical phenomena like earthquake, tsunami, cyclones, and volcanoes, then geographical features and locations. Second category is changes in critical geographical features and in flora and fauna and the effect of such changes. Now what we have to focus on is this: in 2024 mains, UPSC is focused on these two sections and not asked questions on the resources and the location of the industries. Okay, and we can see explicitly terms like cyclone, volcano, tsunami, earthquake are mentioned in the syllabus. And the terms like geophysical phenomena. So these are the topics UPSC is focusing on. Then the second aspect is changes in the critical geographical features and its effect and the effect of such changes. Okay, so let's start. What we can see from the previous year questions is that the phenomena and the concept part UPSC is definitely targeting. Whether it is the mental plume, the desertification concept, like why India is called a subcontinent. So you have to explain. It is a concept. Okay. Then what is the importance of troposphere and significant. The troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. How? So these are the concepts and the phenomena which you have to address. Okay. Some basic questions like the characteristics of primary rocks, igneous rocks. So, and these are questions from the same category. Okay. How hot deserts are formed in the northern hemisphere, and the location is concentrated to 20 to 30 degree latitude. Okay, and on the western side of the continent. So these are the concept and phenomena based question which you have to explain. Okay, fold mountains, the alignment and fold mountains, and bring out the association between the global distribution of fold mountains and the earthquakes and the volcanoes. So we can take the hint from the syllabus itself, which is explicitly mentioned the phenomena like earthquake and volcano, and the UPSC is connecting these concepts. Then the concept of ocean currents and the water masses. Okay. So now let's see the questions which are asked in 2024 mains. So these are the concept based questions. These two questions are the concept based questions, like what is the phenomena of cloudburst? Explain. 10 mark and 150 words. We have come across this term. And this is also studied in disaster management. But what UPSC is focusing on GS1 is the phenomena of the cloudburst. So you have to address what is actually cloudburst, what are the geographical conditions which are required, and for example, a cloudburst is something. The basic definition of cloudburst is like if rainfall is happening, it is a region-based geographical phenomena. If any area, for example, according to a definition, if the area is 10 square kilometer, in this area, if in 1 hour there is equals to 10 centimeter rainfall, 10 centimeter rainfall, or more than this, then it will be categorized as cloudburst. It is mostly associated with mountainous region because of the the winds actually go upright, and the intense and dense clouds are formed, which are actually which makes it very suitable for heavy rainfall in a very short period of time. So these are the geographical conditions which you have to mention. You have to give the definition. Okay, even if in half an hour there is 5 centimeter rainfall in a 10 square kilometer region, then also it will be categorized as cloudburst. Then you have to show, give the geographical conditions, region specific it is. You have to give some examples and the weather phenomena which is associated with the cloudburst. Okay, this is how you have to address this answer. Coming to the second question, second concept based question is that what are aurora australis and aurora borealis? On social media, okay, lot of times in our syllabus also we hear about the Earth's magnetic field and the concept which is associated with Earth's magnetic field, that is aurora australis and aurora borealis. So what, but this question was quite tricky. What actually makes this question very tricky is that you have to address this question in 250 words. This makes it very, very tricky. But what actually you have to answer is, you have to first explain the phenomena. You have to explain the phenomena that there is Earth's magnetic field. This is sun. This is sun. This is sun. This is the sun, and the sun rays are coming. Okay, the radiations of the sun and the solar winds, what we call, and for example there is Earth and there is Earth's magnetic field. Okay, this is the magnetic field of Earth. Okay, so when the magnetic field of the Earth and the solar winds, they interact, because you must have studied that the magnetic field of the magnetic layer of the Earth, magnetic field of the Earth, actually it becomes very thin near the poles. Okay, so when the solar winds actually interact with these magnetic field, we come across these phenomena, aurora australis and borealis. How they are triggered, I have explained it. You have to mention it in detail. You have to draw the diagram. You have to show the phenomena, and that's how you have to address this question. Okay, let's move forward. Now this section is, the UPSC has explicitly mentioned the term like phenomena like earthquake, tsunami, volcano and cyclone. Definitely we have to cover all these topics in detail. We can see the previous year questions. Again and again UPSC is focusing on one common topic among all these phenomena, is the cyclone. Okay, we can see it in 2013, the recent cyclone on the east coast of India was called, this is the name of the cyclone. How the tropical cyclones are named, okay, are largely confined to South China Sea and Bay of Bengal and Gulf of Mexico. And you have to take the hint from here. Gulf of Mexico, there is a question in 2024, twisters, why they are concentrated to the majorly found across the Gulf of Mexico. So that's how you have to take the hint. Okay, mention the global occurrence of a volcanic eruption. This was the question on volcano. So this is how you have to cover the syllabus, and this is how we have to check the trend of UPSC, that what actually what topics become very important, very crucial. This is something which we get to know from previous year questions. Okay, so let's now check out the question which was asked in 2024. What is sea surface temperature rise? What is sea surface temperature rise? How does it affect the formation of tropical cyclones? Okay. First of all, you must have studied the conditions for required for the formation of tropical cyclone. You do have to mention it, but you have to integrate it with the phenomena. What is sea surface temperature rise? Okay, and how does it affect the formation of cyclone? This is actually a trend UPSC is following. I will show you the source. For example, how does the cryosphere affects global climate? Okay, let's see the trend. Let's understand the trend. How does the cryosphere affect the global climate? Okay, what are the consequences of spreading of dead zones on marine ecosystem? Okay, how can the mountain ecosystem be restored from negative impact of development initiatives? For example, the conclusion is UPSC is integrating the effects of climate change and its impact on geographical phenomena like cyclone, how they are getting intensified because of the impacts of climate change. The climate change is impacting these phenomena. This is the key takeaway. Okay, discuss the causes of depletion of mangroves and explain their importance in maintaining ecosystem. Okay, see 2022. Discuss the consequences of climate change on the food security in the tropical countries. So this is how we have to analyze previous year questions. Okay, so what is sea surface temperature rise and how it is impacting affecting the formation of tropical cyclones. Okay, so that's how you have to address integrating the concepts. Now let's come to the another major theme of UPSC, which the trend which we all can see. If you analyze previous year papers, whether it's 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, you will find one common theme in every year's GS1 mains, that is water resources. Okay, so water resources is a very important theme, and UPSC is constantly asking questions on depletion of groundwater and its impact on the human life. Okay, depletion and decrease in the freshwater availability and its impact on agriculture industry. Okay, industries and the economy and the ecology. Okay, so these are the dimensions which are associated with the theme water. This year also, this particular year also, 2024 also, there is a question on water. Let's see what it is. See, why 2023? Why is the world today confronted with a crisis of availability of and access to fresh water resources? 2021. What are the environmental implications of reclamation of water bodies into urban land use? Explain with example. Water and urbanization, water problem urbanization, water pollution, groundwater depletion. These are the themes which UPSC is actually targeting. How will the melting of Himalayan glaciers have far-reaching impact on the water resources of India? Okay, so that's how you have to analyze. So this particular question which we are going to discuss now was very much predictable. You have to cover the theme of water resources. Let's see now. Let's see the question which was asked in 2024. The groundwater potential of Gangetic Valley is on serious decline. 2023 they asked the fresh water availability is getting impacted, it is declining. Okay, and the groundwater potential of Gangetic Valley is on serious decline. How may it affect the food security of India? Okay, first you have to address this, you have to explain this, why it is on decline. Because of the intensive urbanization, industrialization, concretization of the land. So the groundwater recharge capacity reduces. Okay, so excessive use in the agriculture sector, unscientific agricultural practice. Okay, concentration of water-intensive crops, production of water-intensive crops, which requires more than the water. Then unscientific use of irrigation without all these reasons you have to give. You have to address this part. Okay, the question is not this, but obviously this is the main demand, but first you have to address this part also in the question. Is on decline, you have serious decline, you have to show that it is on serious decline. And then the second part is how may it affect the food security of India? Then you have to connect it with this. Okay, the water is going to decrease, and then the irrigation potential is going to decrease, and the fertility of the land is going to reduce, soil erosion. All these things, you have the points you have to write to address the demand of the question. The point which I wanted to make is that you can interpret how UPSC is following the trend. This is the main aim of today's trend analysis. That trend UPSC is following. In some questions, obviously, there will be some surprises. We will see the surprises in this video analysis itself. Okay, let's move forward. Now, the thing which we were talking about, the surprising element, this is the surprising element. It was there in 2023 also. UPSC has followed the trend of giving some tricky words to check your geographical aptitude. How much do you know geography? Okay, how much conceptual clarity you have, how much you can connect, how much word breakdown you can do and address the question situation in the examination hall situation. In 2023, we have seen words like Purvaiya, the formation of Jord Coast. Okay, so these are some unconventional questions which UPSC asked in 2023, and this trend has continued in 2024 also. Let's see how. What is a twister? Okay, let's see. Why are the majority of the twisters observed in areas around the Gulf of Mexico? Okay, so Gulf of Mexico is a hint. Okay, so if we when we study, then the cyclones and some tornadoes are actually concentrated in Gulf of Mexico. So that's how you have to reach to this word twister. Okay, so tornadoes actually are going more with the word twister, and that's how you have to address this question and take the hint from the Gulf of Mexico. We have seen the previous year question. The UPSC has highlighted that why the cyclones are mostly concentrated in South China Sea, Bay of Bengal, Gulf of Mexico. So UPSC in its syllabus has mentioned locations, geographical phenomena and locations, and the features which are specific with the locations. So that's how these questions have to be answered. You have to break down the word, okay, connect the dots and then reach to the point. Obviously, it was a very tricky question in the examination hall, okay. Second tricky question is, what is the concept of demographic winter? Second part, is the world moving towards such a situation? Elaborate. Okay, 10-mark question, you have to answer in 150 words. What is the concept of demographic winter? Demographic, we all know something is related to population. Winter coming to, winter is something associated with, downfall or something, everything actually comes to halt. Okay, so demographic winter, I know it is very difficult to make to interpret this question and address this question in the examination hall, but I'm just trying to break down the word and then address the question. I did this thing in my 2023 mains. The Purvaiya word, I was just Hindi meaning of the word which is actually coming from, but the hint was given as that southwest monsoon. So, and which is connected with the Purvaiya. So the Bay of Bengal branch which is going to the Bihar region, Bhojpur region. Okay, so demographic winter is actually decline in the fertility, birth rate. And the second part of the question is that is the world moving towards such a situation? In that is the world. So it is a question based. The question is asking a question. So you have to give a balanced approach that in some countries like the European countries, Japan, the birth rate is actually declining. But it's not, it is not the global phenomena. Okay, in countries like in African countries and South Asian countries, fertility rate is increasing. Okay, so is the world moving towards such a situation? So you have to give a very balanced answers with some examples of the European countries and the African countries. This is a 10-mark question. This is how you have to address this question. Break the word and then address. Okay. These are the actually questions which were asked in 2023. This is another theme. This is distribution of key natural resources. You can actually, if you want to, you can add the water question, which was the groundwater question, which was asked in the 24 mains. Otherwise, there is no such question on natural resources. Okay. So that's how we are coming to the end of our discussion of trend analysis of mains 2024. All the very best.